Bakarkhani. Hi, welcome to Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana. I'm Sonika, and the recipe that I've got for you today is that of a bread. So what we're making today is called Bakarkhani. Let's take a look at all the ingredients we need to make this. Refined flour, yeast, clarified butter or ghee, almond slivers, chironji, raisins, baking powder, screw pine essence or kevra water, sugar, salt, milk. Now that we've run through all the ingredients to make this bread, let's start preparing it. What we're going to do first is we're going to take some milk and we're going to dissolve some sugar in this. So I'm going to add some sugar. And I'm just going to put this in the microwave till it goes slightly warm and the sugar is nicely melted. In the meanwhile, we're going to sift together some refined flour. To this, we're going to add some baking powder. And we're going to add some salt. And we'll pass all of this through a sieve. Now for the next part of the recipe, I've got some warm water over here. I'm going to divide this into two parts. In one part, we're going to soak the chironji and the raisins. I'm going to add it to this. And we'll add in the raisins as well. So we're going to let this soak in warm water for a couple of minutes. And the remaining warm water, we're going to use to dissolve some yeast. That's how we're going to activate the yeast. And now we're going to keep this aside to rest for about 2 to 3 minutes and we'll move back to our dough. The yeast has been activated now and we're ready to proceed with the next step. Now for that, we've got this refined flour. I've created sort of a well in the center and we're going to pour in the sweetened milk. Next, I'm going to add in the kevra water or the essence. Now we're going to add in the yeast and we're going to knead all of this to a nice dough. Once you add in all of these ingredients and you start kneading it to a dough, it's going to be really sticky. But the trick is to keep kneading it till it becomes a nice and soft dough. So you don't need to get worried if it's really sticky at the beginning. So after kneading this for quite a bit, your dough is going to look something like this. And it's perfect. So what we're going to do now is we're going to wrap this in a damp muslin cloth and we're going to let it rest for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then we're going to proceed with the next step. We wrap the dough in muslin cloth, in a damp muslin cloth and let it rest for about 10 minutes. And now we're going to move to the next step. So I've got some clarified butter over here. Now the roti that we're making is really rich, okay? So we're going to add some ghee and we're going to knead it into this. So add in a portion of ghee and knead it till it's well incorporated in the dough. We're going to do this till we use up 3 tablespoons of ghee. Now I'm going to add in the next spoonful of ghee. So after some serious muscle workout, we've kneaded in the ghee along with the dough and we've got a nice homogeneous dough ready over here. To this, I'm going to add the dry fruits. So I'll start with some slivers of almonds. And then we're going to add the raisins and the chironji that we soaked in some water. So it's time to add that. And now we want to knead all of this well together again. Okay, so this is kind of a sweet bread, but it's not very sweet. So it tastes really great with kebabs and with curries. And it's a really rich bread. So it's fit for days when you want to indulge. So we've got this really rich, amazing dry fruit laden dough for a Bakarkhani perfectly ready. What we're going to do now is we're going to cover this and we're going to let it rest and rise for about 30 minutes before we can bake it in a preheated oven. So our dough's been resting for 30 minutes and this is what it looks like right now. What we're going to do is we're going to divide these into tiny balls and we're going to let them rest again for another 5 to 10 minutes before we can then roll them out and flatten them into discs. So the dough's been resting for about 10 minutes now and what we're going to do next is we're going to slightly flatten these out and then we're going to prick them with a fork and then we're going to bake them. We've rolled these out and we've put them on a baking tray. What we'll do now is we're going to prick each Bakarkhani with a fork several times. You don't need to grease the baking tray before you bake this because we've added a lot of clarified butter or ghee whilst kneading the dough. So that should be sufficient and the Bakarkhani should come out perfect once it's baked. And now we're going to bake this in a preheated oven at 240 degrees Celsius for about 10 to 15 minutes or till these are perfectly done. So I've got the Bakarkhani out of the oven and it's perfectly baked. You can see what a beautiful golden brown color it's got. We're just going to quickly serve this now. So I'm going to just pile these on into a bread basket. So here it is a fabulous recipe for a Bakarkhani, which is a flat bread that is loaded with dry fruits and ghee. Make sure you try this recipe because it is a fabulous one.